I think the most important thing to bear in mind when you're pulling together the final report, this summary report, which is going to be the main means by which you communicate the results of your project, is to really be very careful to only pick out the key points from each of these, much longer detailed reports, and to weave it into a story that is powerful, that is compelling, that is engaging. And it's quite a skill to be able to do that. It's great to get some input from quite a few people who haven't been involved with the process, to get them to read it and say, what is this saying to you? And at the same time, to keep it very simple, to keep this focus on jobs, on livelihoods, on potential, on improvement in social aspects as well as environmental aspects, and not get too drawn into telling a long story about everything. So keep it very focused. The numbers should really speak for themselves, and then you weave a little bit of story around that.
Yeah. So this summary report that you're going to pull together at the end, really important, and I would say definitely put the effort into making it be a good read, be beautiful. And the reason I say that is because lots of people are going to want to look at it. You're going to have lots of people in the community, lots of people from organizations in your community, and lots of people from organizations outside your community, including funders who are going to want to see it. So, so definitely don't skimp on that.
I think we've seen how important it is to produce a document. This is the final summary, the shorter version, that looks really good. This thing about producing things that are professional looking, well designed, visually engaging, feels really important, because what we're really trying to do this work is to connect with these strategic decision makers and to impact what they're doing. And in order to do that, we have to reach them, we have to get their attention, we have to be credible, and we have to produce great outputs that look professional. So putting a bit of effort into making it look good is really important, in my opinion.
So when we started to draft the report, I think that was the biggest kind of learning time for me. And I think with hindsight, what would have been great would have been, as well as having the stakeholder group managing the broader strategic work, to have had sector-specific small steering groups. So say if it was food, that you would have somebody who is, the people in your initiative are interested in food, people who, maybe if you'd included the primary research, that would have been great. Got some food businesses and some retailers and growers alongside you, so that they could actually inform what went into, and who had a shared vision of what the narrative was. Then that would have made drafting the report much easier.
The benefits of having a finished summary document are that you can't expect most people to find the time or the patience or to have the skill to deal with the kind of details that you may well have had to work through in order to arrive at the final figures. You need the summary document to be accessible, to be not too long, to have plenty of nice graphic information in it so that people can see, a picture tells 1,000 words sort of stuff. So you really need that summary document to be your communication tool. But you also need, of course, all the work that stands behind it, so that you have that credibility. Even if nobody challenges you on the work, it gives authenticity and solidity to the summary document.
So we've used a summary report in Totnes to be able to articulate to the people that we now want to hold open meetings with around the sector-specific work that we want to do. We've been able to use it to show them the benefit to them of why they might want to be involved in that kind of grassroots local economic development.
The question about what actually happens now to this summary report once you've produced it, we're not fully sure of the answer to, because we've only just produced the ones here in Totnes and Herefordshire, for example, and soon to be Brixton. But what we've seen happening already is that people are downloading them by the thousand. It's been downloaded over 1,500 times, the Totnes summary report already. And we've had interest from central government in it. Our MP's taken it up there and is talking to people. And we're hearing quite a few people kind of mentioning the work to us. So it's getting out there into the wider world, which is great. And then to bring it back locally to here in Totnes, for example, then it's being used as a communication tool, as we intended, to these organisations, to try and engage them, to bring others into the process. So we're going to have a couple of open meetings here in Totnes where we invite all the food businesses, for example, to get together for a session, and we'll discuss the findings of the report and the next steps.
The Economic Blueprint report has been particularly useful, I think, on a kind of district and county and then hopefully regional, sort of a national scale, because it enables us to articulate things in a way that is traditionally kind of done in those institutions. They do reports, they do scope reports, they do research, they present that kind of documentation. And so out of that, we've been able to get a real foot in the door for talking to them about their policy making and some of their processes and how we might work together far more productively in the future.
So once you've gotten to the end of the process and you're developing your summary, you also want to be thinking about your action plan. So what are you going to do next? You definitely should be thinking about building a coalition of other organizations beyond your stakeholder circle, people who can help carry the work forward. So you will have identified projects to take forward that can help you achieve a shift, say a shift in consumer spending away from supermarkets toward local shops, for example. So definitely be thinking about that all the way, so that when you get to the end of the process and you've created your summary report, you can pull together a bit of an action plan to hit the ground running.